So if you know what language mean, um, you'll understand. So it says language of a person or a living thing. So there you have it right there. A gate can't be living. An actual gate cannot, a literal gate cannot live. It cannot feel. It cannot breathe. It cannot think. So it has. So notice how it has in parentheses of a person or living thing. All right. So that tell you right there. And then the scriptures tell you like things, in the scriptures are double standard. So um in this instance it just happens to be uh a symbolic, which the scriptures use a lot. It uses parables, and a lot of parables are used, analogies, metaphors. um they call them dark sayings, high stuff that people can't get. um what's the other word? Allegories, stuff like that. So here, that's all that was. So it's telling you that, those gates are, once again, living people. They are the front man. That's all it is. They would just use to say they're the front man. It's so bad that the front men are mourning. They are languish. So we're gonna go down. It says lose or lack vitality, grow weak or feeble. So once again, an actual gate can't do that. All right. Well, you can, but you would sound silly saying that, because it tells you right above it. This is Google's definition. So it has in parentheses. We're talking about it can only be of a person or living thing. We're saying this about. So if you're not living, it's impossible for you to languish. Now we're gonna go down to the example. It says plants may appear to be languishing. Now we know that's possible because the plant is living. It has life. All right. One day the plants can be up. Someday, after a certain amount of time, condition uh, of the environment, whatever that's causing them to be in a certain condition, they'll be droopy or something like that. That's because it's living. You know, the whole point, not to get too deep into it, is just this simple. It's it's of a living thing. It's a person. So those gates were just symbolic to represent front man, the leaders, the people in the front, the protectors. That's all that is. So say June morning, and it's too so bad to where it's um our leaders. All right. Main point, they are black. So here you go, Israel. Are you all awakening Israelites, or the people that just want to know the truth, of this Bible? There you go. All right, so we're gonna move on. And then we can actually get deeper into it. You can go to the etymology. That's where you find that where the words actually derive from, uh, their origins, where they come from. The deeper meaning, get a deeper meaning. The older you go into it, or you can go into the. But we won't do that. We'll keep it simple. You can go do that yourself. That's what I like doing, though, personally. But like I said, we'll keep this simple. Um, Another thing you could do, you can go to the find out what the word means in Hebrew, the Hebrew. You can get you a lexicon, ancient Hebrew lexicon. Let's go to the Strong's number and see what the word would be for it. What the word would be for this word, because this is a translation. So what would it be in the Hebrew? What was the word in Hebrew before they translated it to say English and say language in English? What was it in Hebrew? So you can go get you an ancient lexicon, ancient Hebrew lexicon, and they give you all the words for a language. And they give you what language would be in the Hebrew. Or you can go simply on blueletterbible.com, I believe. Blue Letter Bible. You can just put in whatever word you want to know. Click lexicon. There you have it, and it's going to pull up everything, every possible word for it of the same meaning in Hebrew and Aramaic. I'm gonna speak on that. And Greek, because we spoke Greek too. So there we have it. Moving on. Oh man, we'll just leave that up. We'll just leave this up. All right, Deuteronomy. One second. One second. Alright, there we go. Back into it. Alright. Okay. So Deuteronomy chapter 7. We're gonna go to verse 6. Okay. Deuteronomy 7:6. So to wrap that up, that right there lets us know that once again, this Negroes being the people of the Bible is very solid, because consonants and color and of consonants is all through the Bible. It's all through the scriptures. You can um, you can see accounts of it, records of it. Even further back in the beginning of the Bible with Moses, when he put his hand in his bosom, and it came out leprous. The Father wanted him to do that, so it came out white as snow. And then he put it back. He told him to put it back in, and he put his hand back out, and it was restored to the color again. So that tell you right there, that his sister, it happened to him. I mean her. She was made leprous. So we know these people were people of color. Okay, you want to get even deeper, you can go to the accounts of Samson. He had locks. You can see that in Judges chapter 16, verse 19, I believe. And then you can go even deeper. You can go into Lamentations chapter 5. They literally tell you our skin was black because of the famine, because they was in the sun. All right, this is all through the scriptures. The Messiah himself, you call him Jesus. The world ignorantly calls him Jesus. But Yahweh shot a Messiah, Hamashiach. That's the Hebrew for Messiah, the Messiah. He told you, right, what you see in the book, Revelation chapter 1, verse 14. You can start at 10 and read on down. Verse 10, and read on down. All right. Burnt brass skin. His head and his hair was white like wool. All right, he's talking about his head on his hair and his facial hair. White like wool. Burnt brass skin. Right, what color is brass? But there's so many different accounts you can just go into it. You can go into Second Kings. You can go when the king of Syria sent I don't want to slaughter his name, Naamasa, I believe, but he sent him, his captain of the host, to the prophet Elisha, of Israel. He sent them to him because he had a leprous problem. So that tells you right there, the people of antiquity The ancient days, they were of color. All right. Those are Syrians. They were nothing but Hamites. Same thing like the Egyptians. Remember Moses got mistaken for the being an Egyptian. I said I'm Egyptian. Salakia. Egyptian. So that tells you right there. If you know that the Egyptians was black, there you go. Or of color, there you go. All right, there's a million different accounts. The days that a father, then the Messiah told you, he said that if you seen me, you have seen the Father. The Ancient of Days. You can actually see his account of his. You can actually get an account of his countenance in Daniel chapter 7 verse 3. You can start at, I believe, or 6. The Ancient of Days. All right, so don't spend too much more time on that. So that's that. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. So we are on God's chosen people. You Israelites, you are God's chosen people, the Most High's chosen people, the highest chosen people. We're gonna read it one more time. For thou art an holy people, unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. All right. So you can see that in a million different ways. You can see that, just by you being on the bottom, it's like, you're chosen in that way. For all the bad stuff that needs to happen, people taking out, all different types of, just personal feelings and hatred they have is just, it's always somehow exclusively directed towards a so-called black person. Speaking of, someone of the Negro descent. We're gonna go down. Verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. So that's interesting too, because anybody that reads the scriptures know that most of the prophecies in the scriptures has not passed. So he's just how he was taught. It's like he's talking. It's like we're back in Egypt. All this stuff still stands. All right. So what do they call? So with that one, we're gonna translate to the modern day. What would that be? What would this be in the modern day? What do they call us? What do they say you are? They call you the minority. So you're the minority now. You're the minority then. Yes, don't get it confused. He said also that we were we were like the sand of the sea. If you could number the stars, can't do it. So yeah, it's a lot of us, but we know that the scriptures are sharp. They do not contradict themselves at all. So we are up to we are to be of what mind. So we need to be all on the same accordance. That's what we want. We want to be all on the same accordance when it comes to that. We know our scriptures don't contradict themselves at all. All right. So yes, a lot of us, but to this day we are still the minority. All right. And it's just when it come down to certain things, you read, you understand. I'm verse 8. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, like from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. I'm gonna read it one more time. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So I read these scriptures mainly because you're going to have some people that believe you can be like a spiritual Israelite. No, this was seriously saying that it's a chosen people. So we're talking seed, we're talking bloodline, we're talking pedigrees, we're talking the Israelites are not a clique. They are not a group. They are a bloodline of people. Okay, and everyone knows that. That knows these scriptures, that's in the truth. They know that. So that's why you're labeled with something as far as Negro, because it's not one. You're really labeled with it for two reasons, but we'll save this the reason that will really tie this home. But that's the point of this whole sheet going together. So I'm not going to speak on that one yet. But the whole point, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get to it. Um, yeah, we're gonna leave that. I'm gonna save that. It'll just be good commentary, I guess they call it, for the next one. But we're gonna move on. So you're chosen. All right. He dealt with your fathers. Your father Abraham, however you want to say it. Abraham. You can read about that in Genesis chapter 15. All right, we're gonna move on to the next one. We're gonna wrap this up. Leviticus chapter 26. We're gonna go back. Actually, this is said all throughout the scriptures about the chosen people. Leviticus 20:26. All right, here we go. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. Read it one more time. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. So he said, and ye shall be holy unto me. All right, what does it mean to be holy? Set apart, separate. All right. For I, the Lord, am holy. So he said, I'm set apart. I'm not dealing with everybody. I'm separate. And that's proven. We could prove that. Another video, though. And have severed you from other people. So it's telling you right there. So right here, it gets really detailed. Not just set apart. Not just separate, but he severed. He said he severed you. So I like how a lot of the brothers out here, they break it down. The brothers, the Akim, they break it down. Um, you know, a brother, a good brother named La Payat. Watch some of his videos. He uses the understanding to be, a chainsaw. So it's like I'll add to it a little bit. If you had a Siamese twin, all right, imagine cutting that Siamese twin down, chainsawing it down the middle, wherever they're joined at. That's this. Or you can go even what they call it, uh more like prehistoric, I guess. Use a saw. That's how serious that is. Severed. Okay. So we're gonna move on to the next one. Deuteronomy 10:15. Like I said, these are all through the scripture, so we know this is serious, because it's like we can see it in so many ways right now. Sadly, we can only see it being chosen but the great thing about it, both ways were mentioned. Our ancestors and us being inheritors of that, we just happen to be on the other side that was promised to them, which was, we're going to get into that as in another video, according to the sheet, the curses. So that's that part. So you can see it in so many ways, but we're going to speak on the balance. Okay, so one, we touch everything, we dominate. Everything you allow so-called Negro to put their hands in, uh, they find a way to just somehow, like, I don't know, just excel at it, or excel it. All right, and then you really can't deny that. That's really the truth. Then you got on the flip side, the other side of the spectrum, the polar opposite, right? More majority what you see too. Um, like I said, so-called Negro being at the bottom. That's very clear, and it's like it's an exclusive club uh, for getting off for we're the only people targeted, unarmed, and killed. Black so-called black man, uh, Negro man, woman, or child that's targeted, being from unarmed and yet still killed. And then it's like that's exclusive right there. It's like, really actually think about that. That's set apart just for us. Who is that happening to overall? Like, stereotypically, because people will hear that and they'll be like, well, that happened to other people. Okay, who has the stereotype for that happening to? So that's like branded on us. So that's exclusive. That's exclusivity right there. Then the people that do it, it's like they got an exclusive license for being able to get off for it when it comes to so-called Negro man, woman, or child, for doing. Oh, that's okay. Don't You get to use that exclusive license right there, because it's dumb. That's literally how it is, how it looks, and everything. So I mean, you can't just overlook things like this, because it's very serious. Right? You got to pay attention to what's going on, and I mean, it's been like this since the beginning. This oppression and everything is really stereotypically, you know, catered to us. You can remove the word stereotypically. It's really catered to us. It's literally catered for the so-called Negro man, woman, and child. You don't even have to go back to slavery. You can just go back to segregation. All right, it's clear. So that's the exclusive right there. Out of all the nations in the earth, even from then, who is it still being branded on? Who's still um, dealing with that as a race of people? It's just clear. So we're going to get into Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 15. So it says, I'm going to wrap this God's chosen people up. So just like I said, with just those things right there, you got to know you're chosen. And just this whole time, you didn't know that so much that you could clearly see was already defined over 3,000 years ago. All right, or however long ago. Okay, so it says, I shouldn't have said that, because you got a bunch of wise guys out there. All right, verse 15. And the Lord had delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. One more time. Only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people, as it is this day. Okay, so it was just saying, you can't be a spiritual Israelite. This was literally about, and these you Israelites are a race of people. This is your actual identity, your actual nationality, your actual origins. All right, we're talking about seeds. There are many seeds on this planet. Ham had a seed, Shem had a seed, Japheth had a seed. All right, and then everything they brought forth, they had seeds. But yet this particular seed of lineage is chosen. People know this, bro. So we're gonna do one more thing. We're gonna go to the New Testament. Yeah, we're gonna go to the New Testament because this Bible is in perfect orchestration. All right. So you can actually see about the many accounts made of the chosen people throughout the scripture, which is you can go to 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 9, the the chosen generation, royal priesthood, peculiar people. All right, you can go see that on your own because I'm gonna get this one in Titus. We can go to Titus chapter 2 verse 14. That's what we're gonna go to. 1 second. There he is. Look. All right. Okay, Titus chapter 2 verse 9. Verse 14. So like, all right, so it says, who gave himself for us that he might redeem us from all iniquity and purify unto himself a peculiar people, zealous of good works. One more time. Who gave himself for us that he might redeem us from all iniquity and purify unto himself a peculiar people, zealous of good works. Okay, so there you have it. Who gave himself for us that he might redeem us from all iniquity and purify unto himself a peculiar people, zealous of good works. So, that's talking about the Messiah right there. Gave himself for us. Okay, who are those? So there you have it right there. It's just that simple. It's all throughout scripture. You can go back to, wherever you want it. All right, who are those peculiar people? The chosen people, the people we just read about, the Israelites. Let's prove it though real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 2. Who are those peculiar people? Because we just found out you can't be a spiritual Israelite. Israelites are nothing spiritual. It's not a religion. All right. It's an actual lineage, actual bloodline, a certain seed of men, of a certain man. All right. So those peculiar people, Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. One more time. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all nations that are upon the earth. So there you have it right there. So you're chosen. Being an Israelite, you're the chosen people. Everybody that knows the scriptures or want to know the truth, they know that. The Israelites are a chosen people. They did not disappear. They were just put under curses. And now we know who they are. So we're going to keep this going. And look forward to the next time, Israel. First, I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Baha Mashiach Yahushua. Baha Shama Mashiach Yahushua. Salaki. Shalom, Israel.